So, have you ever thought about what happens after you say yes to faith? Like, is that it? Is that the finish line? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful idea from Apostle Michael Ropo that says, no, that's just the starting block. We're going to look at the huge difference between just having God in you and being so full of God that your spiritual life just overflows.
Okay, so let's just get right to the heart of it with this question. Is having Christ in you the same as being full of God? I mean, on the surface, it sounds like it should be, right? But what if I told you that really getting the difference between the two could be the absolute key to living a victorious life? That's the challenge we're unpacking today.
And this is where that difference really starts to make sense. Just think of it like this. Christ in you, that's the starting line. It's your salvation experience, and it is the absolute foundation of everything. But being full of God, well, that's the race itself. That's the goal. It's not a one-time thing, it's an active, daily pursuit that takes you way beyond that first step.
But you might be thinking, okay, why does this really matter? Isn't this just playing with words? And the answer is a hard no. According to this teaching, this is actually incredibly urgent. Because if we aren't actively trying to be full of God, we leave ourselves wide open to something pretty dangerous, a spiritual vacuum.
This quote from Apostle Oragpo really nails the core problem. If you are not deliberate to be full of God, something will fill you. The whole idea here is that we're all built like vessels. We were literally designed to be filled up, which means staying empty, it's not really an option. Something will rush in to fill that empty space.
So, what is it that fills that void? Well, if we're not intentional, the warning is that other forces will happily move in. And we're not just talking about having a bad day here. These are described as actual spirits that can take root inside of us. Things like fear and anxiety, deep sorrow, pride, lust, things that, if left unchecked, can grow into outright wickedness.
And if you think the word wickedness sounds a little extreme, check out this staggering statistic. Every single year, humans are responsible for killing over 400,000 other humans. That makes us one of the most dangerous species on the entire planet. And the point here is that this is the ultimate, tragic result of a heart that's been filled with the wrong thing.
Okay, so that's the problem, right? This spiritual vacuum that nature itself won't allow, that's going to get filled with something destructive if we're not careful. So what do we do about it? Well, the good news is the teaching doesn't just leave us there. It gives us a really clear, practical plan it calls the protocol for fullness.
And the best part is that this is something you can actually do. It's a real process, and it's built on 4 pillars. First up is prayer, and this is about actively stirring up your spirit. Next is the Word, and the logic is simple. If the Word is God, then when you fill yourself with the Word, you're filling yourself with God. Third, we have love, which is described as the main pipeline for God's fullness. And finally, there's worship, which is all about creating an atmosphere where His fullness can actually come and stay.
Now, this isn't just about being disciplined for discipline's sake. Following this protocol, this whole process is designed to lead to real, tangible changes in your everyday life. So what does it actually look like when you start to experience that spiritual overflow?
What you get is this fundamental shift. You literally move from a state where God is just kind of a resident inside you to this dynamic, active state where His presence, His nature, and His power are constantly overflowing from your life into the world around you.
So what does that overflow actually produce? Well, the evidence shows up in some pretty incredible ways. We're talking about a supernatural peace and joy even when things are tough, divine wisdom, and a real sense of direction when you feel lost. You start to operate with a kind of supernatural power and authority. You get victory over those old habits, and you find yourself walking with this new boldness and confidence that just seems to open doors and bring favor into your life.
And that really brings everything right back to us, doesn't it? The core message is so simple. We are all vessels. We were made to be full. And so the question this teaching leaves us with is a really personal one. What are you? What am I choosing to be filled with today?